Disturbing. Hey, I ain't did no Disturbing video in a minute for y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I know I ain't did no Disturbing video in a hot little brief minute. Bitch, y'all give y'all thumbs up. Let's go ahead and get into it. The video already long. Y'all know how we do. Happy Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on whatever day I might drop it on. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Ishmael Thomas, also known as Mr. Prada. Terrion was born on the 28th of February 2004 and is from the small town of Newellton in northeast Louisiana. Newellton is a rural community where Terrion spent his childhood before rising to internet fame. Public information about his family, his early education, and his criminal record is fairly scarce. Terrion remained relatively unknown outside his local...
Hey, wait, this the dude that went on a run off of somebody or something like that? I don't remember the details. I don't know nothing about it, yeah.
Community until his late teens. This was until the year 2022, when Terrion began amassing a following on the video sharing platform TikTok under the handle Mr. Prada. He quickly gained a large following due to his relatable and entertaining content. By 2024, Terrion had gained over 4 million followers on his primary TikTok account, Mr. Prada 456, and a similar number on his secondary account called Mr. Prada 458. Across all of his accounts, he had an audience of around 8.2 million people and had accumulated more than 500 million likes. His content mostly consisted of comedic skits and light-hearted commentary on everyday life. He would joke about trending topics, school experiences, and youth culture. He would also occasionally post workout and fitness clips alongside his comedy. He was incredibly successful, however, he wasn't known for his originality. He frequently faced criticism and disputes with other creators who accused him of copying their comedic sketches. This led to him being banned multiple times on the platform, but he would just make new accounts each time. Mr. Prada's typical response to these accusations was unapologetic, brazen, avocado. In one post from May of 2023, he pretended to pose for a photograph and captioned it, "Practicing for my mugshot, cause this might be the year that someone gonna meet God if they piss me off too much."
Kind of dumb to say, ain't it? Yeah. Damn, what I was gonna say, bro. Oh, it do be a lot of like TikTokers I be seeing, like former YouTubers couples or whatever. They copy other people's shit. Like that shit be crazy. It come on my For You page. One couple do something, and then I go scroll. Another couple do the same shit that I just seen the other couple do. Like that shit crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
At this time, his followers took it as dark humor, and the post acquired his typical rates of likes and comments, although it did imply that he was going to harm someone. Terrion's followers didn't suspect anything unusual. His use of edgy dark humor largely went unquestioned, as people just chalked it up to his unique personality. No alarm bells went off at this time, but this video has become a chilling foreshadowing of what was to come. Another strange action Terrion took was when he shaved his hair and eyebrows live on camera. This time, his actions led to speculations about his state of mind. During this time, he made statements like, "My life is a mess, my life is hell, my life is a prison, get me out." By early 2024, Mr. Prada appeared to be experiencing a mental health decline alongside an identity crisis. His content became increasingly inconsistent with his usual style, featuring unhinged posts about getting delulu and referencing a craziness inside of him. At one point, he attempted to rebrand himself as a emo psycho twink before ultimately reverting to his real name Terrion. Around this time, he also openly disclosed to his audience that he had previously been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which was alarming to some of his followers given his recent antics. They were worried that he was going to spiral out of control. In one video, he vividly described a recurring nightmare of him drowning. His viewers became increasingly worried. The comments on his videos trembled. However, Mr. Prada had formed some kind of relationship with a man named Dr. Nick. Dr. Nick was a semi-famous licensed therapist known in recent years for the work he had done with members of the LGBT community struggling with their identity. It remained unclear whether the relationship between Dr. Nick and Mr. Prada began as personal or strictly professional. What is certain, however, was how it ended. Dr. Nick's full name was William Nicholas Abraham. He was born on the 10th of December 1954 in Mississippi. He was raised in a close-knit family of 8 children. Growing up, he was incredibly academic. He attended university and achieved a master's and later a PhD in counseling from university. Nick also served as a Catholic priest for 14 years in Louisiana, where he was known for his empathy, pastoral care, and engaging sermons. However, he transitioned away from the priesthood in the mid-1980s and focused on music and mental health counseling. Nick founded choirs, formed his jazz band, and blended his passion for music with community outreach. Dr. Nick then embarked on a new journey as a therapist and a licensed professional counselor in a field in which he had accumulated over 30 years of experience. He served as a military family consultant during the Iraq War, helping families cope with stress and trauma. And back in Baton Rouge, he opened a successful private practice addressing mental health issues, substance abuse, and trauma recovery. It seemed that Nick had a deep passion to help those who were vulnerable. He became known for his warmth, his approachable style, and his motto, helping to build a better you. Nick went on to author several books and appeared regularly on regional television programs like Weekends with Whitney. He also engaged in public speaking events to raise awareness about mental health and LGBTQ issues. Dr. Nick's clientele were mostly adolescents, so it would make sense for him to have been assisting Mr. Prada with his progressive decline in mental health. Whatever the relationship was, the question remains: why did it end with Dr. Nick wrapped in a tarp and left in a ditch along Highway 51?
Well, damn.
The following events are alleged and pieced together by investigators, so some details could be subject to change as the case develops at the trial later this year. On the morning of the 28th of September 2024, Dr. Nick told several friends and family that he was going to clean his car and then filed some paperwork at his office. It was a Saturday, and Nick would often work weekends, so this wasn't unusual. Although he set off from his home down Corporate Boulevard, and at around 11 a.m., Dr. Nick was spotted entering Tyrion's apartment. Again, Dr. Nick. According to a forensic assessment, Tyrion used multiple sharp objects and blunt objects as weapons during his attack on Dr. Nick. He hit him, causing severe blunt trauma injuries to his shoulders, neck, and more fatally, his head.
Bro.
Blood was ejected from Dr. Nick during this sinister and barbaric attack, covering large areas of Tyrion's apartment. He made some attempts and tried to clean it up, but he was not successful. He then proceeded. Later that day, neighbors witnessed Tyrion moving a large blue tarp from his apartment into the trunk of Dr. Nick's car. They thought it was an odd sight, but didn't take what they witnessed any further. Under the cover of darkness, he drove Dr. Nick's lifeless body to a partially secluded area along a highway, and he dumped Dr. Nick's body onto the roadside.
That's crazy.
He made little effort to conceal the body effectively, and overall, it looked like Dr. Nick emergency services were called to meet.
Hey, Disturbing. Next time, bro, just show the pictures. Don't show no TikToks or nothing. Just show the pictures of the person. I'll be really grateful. Well, I am ready to your video.
When the police arrived, they could tell quickly that the tarp contained a body. Upon cutting it open, they found Dr. Nick's lifeless body. According to some reports, after removing these coverings, it was apparent that Dr. Nick had been killed in an extremely brutal way. Dr. Nick had suffered extensive blunt force trauma all over his head in what was described as a rather violent attack, possibly an attack of passion. And with this, an investigation soon began. His family were informed of the devastating news. The investigators soon discovered that his car was missing. Dr. Nick's car was a black Lincoln MKZ. They found out his registration plate number, and a search to find the vehicle began. However, the very next day, a police patrol car just so happened to spot the black Lincoln driving around through Baton Rouge. And at the wheel was Terrion.
Bro, he's so dumb. He is so dumb, bro. He is so dumb. And know what I'm talking about? Some mental health. Don't come with that bullshit. They always like to come with that. It's the mental health. It's the well, he did have bipolar, but everybody got bipolar. Everybody bipolar, bro. That ain't shit.
Police officer tried to make a traffic stop, but Terrion wasn't going to go willingly. Terrion refused to pull over, and somewhat of a chase ensued. But eventually, Terrion was backed into an area where he couldn't easily escape, as the police officer had performed a traffic stop maneuver. Terrion reversed Dr. Nick's stolen car into the police officer's car, which gave Terrion some room to evade. Desperate to escape, Terrion drove through a pedestrianised area, but in doing so, he crashed and jammed Dr. Nick's car into some small raised beds. He then jumped out of the vehicle and fled on foot across a car park. A passerby took a video of him fleeing, which was the only image the police had of their assailant. At this stage, the TikTok styled negation. The only blocker was that the police didn't know who he was. The law enforcement in Louisiana circulated photographs from a store's surveillance camera.
Come on, man. Disturbing. Please stop showing that picture.
When a young male believed to be the suspect driving Dr. Nick's car. This was Mr. Prada. The CCTV footage showed him in a shop wearing a navy quarter zip and some shorts. The police put out a person of interest alert, hoping that someone somewhere would be able to identify him. And due to Terrion's online notoriety, tips poured in very, very fast.
Yeah. That shit get like, if somebody see you, thank God I ain't famous. I'm look, I ain't even that famous for real, like around my city, like, you know what I'm saying? Next city to the next city or that city to that city. People know me, of course. You feel me? Like, I done had a couple rappers pull up on me and shit, like. When I'm not in the city I'm in, like they pull up on me, you know, so I seen you react to so-and-so, probably a rapper from next city, you know, so I seen you react to that shit, you know what I'm saying? Be catching me completely off guard. I ain't gonna even lie. Like, what the fuck? That many famous, you know what I'm saying? That many shit, you know what I'm saying? That many famous, you know what I'm saying? Notoriety, you know, type shit. So I can imagine a motherfucker with 5 million goddamn subscribers, man. I can imagine anybody noticing you just walking down the road, nigga.
Many users quickly recognized the individual images as Mr. Prada from TikTok. In effect, his own followers helped connect the dots for the investigators. When Terrion fled from the police, he called a family member to pick him up. This family member had no idea of his recent heinous actions. They didn't even know about the police chase, and so they picked him up with no questions asked and took him home. It's at this point that Terrion decided to flee the state and jumped on an interstate bus heading towards Texas. It's not exactly known where he was heading to, but it's suspected that he was heading to the US-Mexico border. However, before this could happen, he was eventually caught by the police on the 1st of October 2024, whilst he was in Dallas. At this point, he was charged with aggravated criminal damage and resisting arrest and was taken into Dallas custody. He was not yet charged with homicide. During this time, the murder investigation in Baton Rouge, Louisiana was still ongoing, but given his links to the murder, he was held without bond. News of what happened spread fairly quickly. The Dallas media noted that the 20-year-old in custody was indeed the TikTok personality known as Mr. Prada. Terrion was soon extradited back to Louisiana to face the impending charges. However, once he got back into Louisiana, the legal situation escalated incredibly quickly. On the 4th of October 2024, Terrion was charged with second-degree murder in the death of William Nick Abraham. In a relatively short amount of time, the police were able to gather some substantial evidence, and they were able to link him to the killing. A search of Terrion's apartment in Baton Rouge yields signs of a violent struggle. Investigators found a large amount of blood all over his apartment, along with within just a few days, Louisiana prosecutors decided to upgrade the murder charge to first-degree murder, citing a specific state law that applied to this case. Under Louisiana law, if a homicide victim is over the age of 65, the perpetrator can be charged with first-degree murder, provided there's intent to kill or inflict great harm on the victim, even if the act wasn't premeditated in the usual way. So because Dr. Nick was 69, this law allowed for a more serious charge, and the upgrade to first-degree murder is significant. It carries the possibility of the death penalty in Louisiana, whereas second-degree murder typically carries a life in prison term. In early October, Terrion was booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison under the new charges and has remained in jail as the case moves forward. Over the following months, the case proceeded through the legal system. A grand jury was put together to review the evidence, and on the 16th of January 2025, this grand jury indicted Terrion on multiple counts, officially charging him with first-degree murder, obstruction of justice, and criminal damage. During this time, the story continued to gain media attention, often highlighting Terrion's online fame in contrast to the grim allegations. However, Terrion's defense attorney has since made a public comment. He has urged the public to not jump to conclusions due to Terrion's notoriety. On the 28th of January 2025, Terrion pleaded not guilty to all of the charges against him.
I bet he did.
This plea is standard for a capital case, allowing the defense to contest the evidence at trial and avoid the death penalty. As of the latest updates in March of 2025, the case is still in pre-trial proceedings and is moving rather slow. The prosecutors have not yet publicly disclosed a possible motive, and this is what is rather strange. They have stated that no clear prior relationship between Terrion and Dr. Nick has been established. The crime appears to be a senseless act of violence with many unanswered questions. The legal process, including any possible plea negotiations or trial date, is ongoing and yet to be resolved. The tragic and puzzling case of Terrion Thomas and Dr. Nick has left many questions unanswered. The fans of Mr. Prada are struggling to reconcile the allegations against their beloved TikTok influencer. They wonder what could have driven him to such extreme actions. Meanwhile, Dr. Nick's grieving family remain desperate for answers and justice. Several theories have surfaced regarding possible motives behind the crime, but one in particular has stirred significant speculation. And it's important to remember that this is just speculation and nothing is concrete. That being said,
just cause a motherfucker famous don't mean whoever the victim was did what they said they did. You know what I'm saying? Just cause this person famous, y'all gotta, you know what I'm saying, meat ride that person because an innocent person got killed. Or he probably said the wrong thing. You feel me?
There's a theory that suggests that Mr. Nick may have assaulted Mr. Prada during a counseling session when he was just 11. As in March of 2015, Dr. Nick was indeed arrested after facing allegations of inappropriate contact involving an 11-year-old during a therapy session. The identity of the victim was never publicly disclosed, and Dr. Nick strongly refuted the claims, asserting that any physical interaction was therapeutic and professional. During this investigation, Dr. Nick...
So he already got accused of this before. And nobody didn't let him do it, nobody didn't do nothing. Bro, don't tell me he touched this man. And this man killed the girl with the hatred. Imagine going to your therapist, talking to him about your problems, and he is the problem. That is fucking crazy. That's crazy to me, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That is fucking berserk. Shit, I would've killed it.
Counseling license was suspended temporarily pending the outcome. Dr. Nick was arrested, but he paid a $25,000 bond to be released. The district attorney undertook a thorough review spanning 2 years. The outcome was that there was not enough evidence to convict Dr. Nick, and so the case was dropped. Subsequently, Dr. Nick was
That's
reinstated, and the Louisiana State Board of Licensed Professional Counselors took no further disciplinary actions against him. Dr. Nick's family and close friends were deeply upset by the allegations, vehemently maintaining his innocence and emphasizing his reputation as a dedicated counselor and community figure. Despite these events, it's crucial to remember that these allegations alone do not imply guilt. No charges were pursued, and Dr. Nick continued his practice until the events of 2024.
I mean,
Yet,
but
speculation continued.
I mean, yeah, but you gotta think about it, bro. I know Disturbed probably ain't. I think Disturbed probably older than me, bro. If somebody said you did something, like something extreme, like to that fact, you know, as touching the kid, bro, you did it. You know how many people that would be in jail right now if someone say he touched the kid? You know what I'm saying? Basically what I'm trying to say is, people just gonna get blamed for touching the kid out of nowhere, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. So, this is like a gay dude saying that he messed with a straight dude. That just ain't finna say that for no reason. Unless it's actually true. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Fueled partly by the coincidental timing. Mr. Prada was, after all, 11 in 2015 and had spoken about his experiences with childhood bipolar disorder and therapy sessions. This has led to some of his supporters to theorize about a possible link between Mr. Prada and Dr. Nick. However, it has been said that Terrion Thomas was not the child involved in the 2015 allegations against Dr. Nick. Nevertheless, many of Mr. Prada's followers have flooded social media with supportive posts and videos, suggesting that Mr. Prada was a victim and acted out of unresolved trauma or a quest for revenge. Mr. Prada and Dr. Nick were both openly homosexual, so another theory is that they were both in some kind of love interest, and that this love interest turned sour. However, to this day, the precise nature of the relationship between Terrion and Dr. Nick remains uncertain, adding another layer of complexity to an already baffling case.
Yeah, I hope they figure out what's going on, man. Y'all let me know the update on this case. Y'all come back. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this video. Give me y'all opinions about my video, bro. Make sure y'all subscribe to my second channel. I will be posting over there probably tomorrow or Wednesday. Like I said, we do 2 videos over there. Probably Tuesday through Saturday over here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I gotta figure that out. I did tell y'all this week I wasn't dropping no video. I be lying, bro. Money. That being said, let's ride, nigga.